Conrad, welcome to Office Hours on this beautiful February 26th, 2026. What questions do we have for our dear listeners today?
We've got a great question, a really kind of dirty, underhanded, gross legal marketing people suck question that we're going to hit. But first, I just discovered something on Facebook, Guy. You won't be surprised. You'll be amazed at this untapped market, this amazing opportunity, Guy.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
It is. I can't even say it with a straight face, even though we knew what we were going to talk about. All right, here's the ad. Break into the untapped Spanish car accident market. Stop competing for the same overpriced English leads. Untapped gold mine of real cases with little to no competition. Guy, have you found the Spanish market in 2026 for personal injury to have little to no competition?
Only in places where nobody lives.
I imagine in North Dakota, this might be a competitive advantage, right?
There you go. See, there you go. That's what I'm talking
Okay.
about. North Dakota Spanish speaking marketing is untapped. Actually, I
So
don't know. I don't know what's going on in North Dakota. I don't even know if I've been to North Dakota, to be honest with you.
I have that is one of the very few states I've never been to.
Okay. Well,
By the
next
way, so
time.
my point here, if this is not entirely clear, is I've been just inundated with ads for this recently. If you think that you should hire an agency because they are telling you that no one has discovered the personal injury market for Spanish speakers in the United States, you are a moron, and B, need to hire a different agency. I'll
Well, in
leave it.
fact, there are plenty of companies that have been doing this now solely for some period of time, right?
Yeah.
I think of Avogados Now.
Avocados now. Yep.
There's a couple others, and so yeah, I mean,
I'll also give you this. This is part of their pitch
mhm.
about English speaking leads. You're bidding $300, $400, or $500 per lead. By the way, also to those of you listening from the PI world, if you can get leads at $300 a lead for personal injury, all day long, turn it up. All day
Yes,
long.
especially if they're direct business search.
Oh, Jesus. You are an asshole this morning. Would you like to
Uh,
explain why you said direct business search and why I said you're an asshole?
Well, as we've talked about many times, both on the podcast and in office hours, there's this question of should we have direct business search on? And in fact, it was just brought up again. And we talked about this last time, so it's fresh on people's minds because Google actually is now parsing or seeming to segment direct business search on local services ads from category search. Short version is that if you have direct business search on, local services ads will show for your name, and so you can be paying per lead for searches on your name. Again, my view has always been make sure you're measuring that in the context of the impact to your category visibility. But Conrad, one thing that Al Ludwig mentioned that it looked like you had different data than him on. He had
It's a little
said,
bit different.
yeah, well, there was a, yeah, I think you both drew the same conclusion,
Yeah.
but it was about the cost per lead between local services ads and brand traditional Google ads. And I think you had said the cost per brand lead from Google ads was, I don't remember if you said higher or lower, but I think he had the opposite. I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So to put numbers behind what he's talking about, our branded queries for a firm tend to be in about that, and there's a spectrum here, but tend to be roughly in the low 90s. Al was seeing direct business search LSA reporting. He called it out at $93. Most of the direct business search, and I have not done it. We're in the middle of an exhaustive research project on this, which we will share later on in the pod. But most of the data that I've seen out of direct business search for our client set has those direct business search leads, which if you want to call them leads, that's a bit of a stretch, but that's my gripe with it. At in the 110 to 135 kind of range. So that's a lot of money to spend on someone who's already looking for you. If you want to learn more about this, and I just did this, go listen to the most recent pod, because it is really, really good. And Guy and I go deep onto this, and we pontificate with a great level of authority about something that we really don't fucking know about. So full disclosure there.
And undoubtedly, local services ads will be on the agenda for Lunch Hour Legal Marketing Summit, August 11th through 18th in Nashville, or 13th in Nashville. So got to plug the summit.
Well plugged. Great segue. It almost felt completely natural.
Probably become happening again because I have this little button I can push.
Guy, you have a dirty, salacious, underhanded, immoral, unethical, and potentially disbarable tactic that you would like to talk about that was brought to us through a forum, correct?
Yeah. So, give a shout to our good friends at Best Era, great Slack community. You should go check it out. This is not unique to legal, and you had said it's certainly disbarable if lawyers are commissioning people to do this on their behalf,
even if they don't know, right?
Right. So basically, what's happening is, and this is not unique to legal. I think Joy's talked about this. It's been out in local, and the umbrella here is review extortion, and this has taken different forms over the years. In the past, what you would see would be they would bomb your Google business profile with 1-star reviews, and they'd call you up and be like, "Hey, if you want us to take these 1-star reviews down, pay us $1,000 or something." The new version of this is that someone will go out and put a 1-star review about we'll call it Target law firm, on a bunch of other local businesses, law firms, restaurants, anyway. So that makes it much more difficult, because now to go and have those review to fight back, you're not just talking about one profile, you're talking about many profiles. Conrad, what do you recommend someone do if they're finding themselves as the victim of review extortion?
Can I ask a clarifying question first?
Please do.
So I'm Joe's law firm, and
Joe's law firm.
On Mary's Flower Shop, there's a negative review about Joe's law firm.
That's just one example of it, but again, they're trying to do it localized, so like it feels like you're in a local community and there's all these businesses, and so it shows these negative reviews about the law firm. That's what's going on. Now, if it helps for the conversation, you could say they're just doing it to a bunch of competitor law firms. One way or another, it's bad reputation stuff going on a bunch of different non-owned profiles
and non-controlled,
right? That's what non-owned, non-controlled. Yep.
Definitely a mess, but harder, I suspect, to suggest that there are damages. If you look up Mary's Flower Shop and there's a negative review, like on Mary's Flower Shop, someone has written, "I really hate Joe. He's a shitty lawyer," right?
Well, I don't know. I guess walk me through how you're parsing that.
Well, compared to I'm looking up Joe's law firm and I look at his reviews and they're all really nice, right?
Yeah. Well, from a again, whether you said from a damages perspective, I mean, there's reputational harm regardless, but different than, so if you're doing it on the firms, and again, Conrad, have you had any experiences where people are intentionally going and defacing firm profiles by doing all sorts of nastiness to them,
like deliberately changing their name?
Right. So there's that. That's where you're messing with the actual.
Sorry, I thought you were trying to get me to name names there.
I was not.
Okay.
So there's messing with your firm profile, whether it's leaving fake reviews on the firm's profile, changing the firm name, or making other edits that might try to impact the visibility negative. This is not that, but it's reputational harm across the fake reputational harm across the web with the intent. I mean, this is a criminal activity, right? If you're extorting money for somebody to take down the reviews, that's criminal, in my opinion. Again, people want to hold me. I'm a lawyer, so
what if it's from Romania?
Right. I
don't pick Romania randomly, by the way.
Right. Same problem. So, step one, as we always say, and I know this is frustrating. In fact, I was just talking to Dan Lear about this about Legal Shield, but Step one is like try to go to Google, right? That Google has a redressal process. They got a forum. There's a forum there that you can use. I would say if you're in the forum, you want to be conscientious about how you're publicly bringing these to light in the forum, because the forum is public. And so I've seen a lot of our worthy rivals will say things like, there's some very nasty, threatening stuff in there.
By the way, dear listener, when Guy says worthy rivals, he really means underhanded scumbags. Let's be clear about that.
Like I said, I'm come to the summit.
So yes, I think that is a fair comment. But the other thing, the complicating issue in here, Guy, is you really need to go to the other business, like Mary's Flower Shop, and be like, hey, there's a negative review about my firm on your profile, which and this is a 1-star review that's dragging Mary down as well.
Well, that's the whole thing. So it's like weird, because you're like, they're publishing it across all these different sites. And again, I think in the example, and I might be reading this wrong, but let's just, for the sake of this example, you're like, I'm at a local PI firm, and they go and leave this 1-star review like on all these other local law firms. Some of them are my competitors. Some of them are just my referral sources. Some of them are other lawyers that I know in the community, and they're going and leaving a 1-star review on their profile. So now these firms are all mad at me too. Because they're like,
right,
why is this happening?
So I'll give you a couple things. Number one, it behooves you to deliver that bad news before it is delivered to you. So I think if you know that this is happening, I would proactively call out the businesses that have been affected and apologize, right? And like, I'm in this dirty legal industry, and someone is making you look bad and me look bad making me look bad at the cost of making you look bad. That is very, very problematic. And the second thing that I would do with glee and vigor is I would work to unmask what this account is. And
how do you do that?
There are two that you call me.
Give him a plug. Yeah, call you, or who's the attorney that you like? Give him a plug.
So work with Adam Mink. Mink Law. We have done this on multiple occasions. We, in fact, have been able to. The reason I said Romania earlier is because that's my experience working with Adam Mink. Is we were able to.
Isn't it Aaron Mink, by the way?
Aaron? Ooh, shit. Sorry. Minklaw.com. Let's put it that way. Fuck. Sorry.
That's the remember, this is live too.
Sorry.
Nothing we can do.
We
always get a lot of
us.
PR here. Yeah.
Why does their about us go to the bottom of their page? We got to talk to them about their.
Well, there you go. They should be a client. Are they not?
They should be a client.
Hopefully, they're not a client. All right.
They're not a client.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, Aaron Mink, you are correct.
Yeah, and they do this, and they are good at it. And
they do this. They are very good at it. They have done a great job of exposing, which we have not shared, a competitor, an agency competitor who you all know for having done this type of activity. Sorry.
I it's funny because during our prep for our last summit conversation, I kind of talked you out of having this as a topic, but maybe I'm rethinking this. Maybe this is a great session.
I think this would be so. I think we should invite Aaron and not Adam.
Totally. That's great.
Adam is Aaron's, alter ego, and he lives in Romania.
Yes. And he's the one leaving the fake reviews. Totally.
So you have to hire his brother to take them down. That is actually, sidebar tangent. Like, if you're paying someone to take down negative reviews, you have just incented someone to leave negative reviews, so you will pay them to take down their negative reviews.
Well, this is the thing that's the worst, because even us talking about this, like, you watch, we're gonna get negative reviews on our Google Business profiles now. And then we're gonna call Aaron.
And it'll be from Romania.
More business.
But closely tied to a digital marketing agency in the legal space. But I digress. So sorry. If you can successfully unfrock, and I believe that you can to some degree. We were very successful at this in the past. Who's done this? My personal approach would be to make an absolute field day from a publicity perspective about this. Now, there are lots of reasons not to do that. You don't like to wrestle pigs in the mud because you just get dirty. I am a pig wrestler. I like the dirty part of it. But there, from a publicity perspective, from a link building perspective, from a we are a good person in the industry perspective, from a calling attention to this horseshit perspective, that's how I would handle this. The client, in our specific case, took a much higher road. I was very disappointed. I actually told him, I was like, listen, I appreciate that you're taking the high road on this, and I am so disappointed. He's like, I know, Conrad. I know who you are.
Well, and again, it's funny because, I'd posted there's this issue of like, you want people to know what's going on and who's doing what out there. And then on the other hand, there's like, there's this little thing about outing. And then there's like, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I struggle. And it's funny because Elise Bowie called me out on this on a post that I was doing about something sketchy. And she's like, why don't you just out everybody? And I'm like, I hear you. But to the point that you're making about your client, I don't know. I'm so torn on all this outing stuff. And I know there's a lot of context and stuff. This particular instance that we're sub talking about is seems particularly egregious to me. But anyway, I respect
the original case is fascinating, right? So and I'm surprised this hasn't happened bluntly. Like, take the gloves off, guys, and ladies. In what you're describing here, if you were to be able to successfully tie this back to either a direct competitor at the law firm or an agency representing a direct competitor, take the gloves off, man. Take them off.
Yeah, I think for, I guess the counterpoint is like, especially in certain communities, it's a very small local community.
Great.
Yeah.
You're taking out the trash.
And then you've got to go have, sit at the bar association events with these people and things get.
You're not going to buy them. If someone's doing this, you're not buying them a scotch on the rocks anyway, right?
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Dirty pool.
Dirty pool. We haven't done dirty stuff for a long time. Speaking of dirty, I'll give you a little inspiration, and I think we're going to invite her to join us at the Lunch Hour Legal Marketing Summit. There's plug number 3, organically sourced by Conrad. If you want to get a little inspired with some really cool positioning, check out Dirty Girl Legal. Really, really clever positioning for a very, very specific audience. And I think, Guy, we've decided to invite her. We're going to try and do a panel of exceptional lawyers who have embraced exceptionally counterintuitive brand positioning. And she's a great example.
We are going to try to convince attendees not to be scared to pick a much more rememberable, authentic brand than We Fight Hard and we've been practicing for 10,000 years.
And we have Scales of Justice.
And we have Lady Justice and rich mahogany bookcases, leather-bound books.
You and I can never buy a mahogany anything ever.
I know. I'm like, even this bookcase is walnut. I'm not even worried like that's too close to mahogany.
Yeah, it might be. Mine is cherry. Definitely not.
Okay, cherry's nice. Cherry's pretty close. I think cherry might be nicer than mine.
Cherry is the G-Wagon of woods.
I don't know anything about wood, to be honest.
Okay.
So I don't know.
All right, what else we got?
This is our classic problem, but we're like stealing content from the pod. But I've seen a lot of questions about this recent Supreme Court decision. Do you track any of this?
So I have a very close friend of mine. Some might call him a competitor. And he supplies me with all my opinions and thoughts about what's going on in the legal world.
Got it. Okay. Well, you can tell your friend that there is this recent opinion called United States versus Hepner.
Oh,
and essentially, Yeah, essentially, using AI, you have no expectation of privilege. Now, I will say this: our friends at Clio did a. I mean, in fact, I should try to put this in some kind of show note. I don't know how we do that with a live thing, but you just go search for. I think Joshua Lennon and Ed Walters and Damian Reel were talking about this. But I think it's valid in the distinction of, your lawyers, whether you're using it for marketing purposes or using it for practice purposes. Like, if you're publishing stuff in the free version of ChatGPT, not surprisingly, we don't have attorney-client privilege and attorney work product protections for that stuff.
There was a post recently about this, specifically with paralegals overusing ChatGPT without thought. I can't remember where the post was or if it was anecdotal or an actual study, but I think that is something that I would be at least aware of.
Did that come up at all in your conversation with Brittany? And
no, it did not. It did not. I literally just re-listened to that and took clips out of it, which was great. But no, it was not from that conversation. It was from a post I saw, I believe, yesterday. And if I remember correctly, the stat was 46% of the work that they are doing has been run through ChatGPT, uploading what is otherwise sensitive information into ChatGPT and cut it out. Now, again, I can't remember if this was a firm or a wider study. I just one of the many things I saw yesterday on the internet. Yeah. And everything on the internet is real, Guy, and truthful.
The internet is a big place, and there's a lot of
full of fake reviews.
Yeah, we talk about it's I'm sure people that follow us are bored of hearing about fake reviews, but it is such a huge problem. And I don't know what to tell people. I mean, and the other thing that in the it's being exacerbated, and maybe this is a sub conversation, but I was I don't know if you've tracked any of Rand Fishkin's research at SparkToro about variability in AI results. And they did they were basically like, hey, can you actually do rank tracking in AI? Because everybody's selling rank tracking in AI. And he's like, basically like, look, go ahead.
No, go. I was interrupting.
Well, he basically, I think to quote him, he says rank tracking in AI is baloney. However, can you do some kind of like visibility percentage analysis? Like, sure. But anyway, bring it back to the reviews thing. You see, and again, this is anecdotal, but in the legal context, these firms with tons of fake reviews, like they show up more in the AI results because of the reviews. And in fact, like some of these firms that I know don't even take cases. They're like mostly, I'm not going to name any names, but they're great. They're great marketing machines. They don't work cases at all. They partner with firms across the country to essentially farm them out. The AI is like, this is the best trial firm in the country, and it's the highest rated law firm in the country in this practice area. And it's largely to do with reviews. And I'm not even casting aspersions that they're fake, but like the volume of reviews on Google is a heavy weight in visibility.
Yeah. And we don't really have a way to handle this.
We don't. I mean, the way to handle it is to deploy resources in other areas where reviews are not the end all be all that they are on Google. It's not great. It's not great tips. Not great, Bob.
Not helpful. Not helpful, Guy.
I know.
All right. I'm gonna we have not prepped this. So if anyone's listening,
good. Yes.
Those of you who are listening.
I see one little eyeball popping in there. So
eyeballs.
Someone's watching. Right. Yeah, a couple eyeballs in there.
I'm gonna read this to you.
Okay.
As kind of an ambush, and I want to. Yes. This is part of an email from a prospect, and I'm going to read snippets because otherwise it's too long.
I hate it. It says I hate Guy and attorneys thing.
It doesn't. Well, it's close. It's close though.
Okay.
This is a guy who is a majority shareholder in 3 law firms. Okay. When I looked at each of these law firms, they each had about 1 to 2 lawyers. And somewhere between 16 and 25 locations. Okay. This is part of his email. I will tell you now that I hate the fact that you have so little price transparency, but I'm seeing this
Yes.
more and more as SEO, local GEO vendors try to gauge little guys like me. I think he means
Yeah.
gouge little guys
Yeah.
like me. I'm
Yep.
sorry, but remember, I've been in the game for over 25 years now, and we both know that you're in the worst snake oil salesman business of all time, even worse than 20th century medicine. LOL. Blah, 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 blah.
Even worse than ambulance chasing PI lawyers.
Well, hold on. It gets worse. Please come with actual thoughts and ideas tomorrow, not just a sales pitch.
Yeah.
Would you
I don't
walk?
waste my time with that.
Okay, good. Yeah. I try
to send them some nice information. Yeah, I try to send them some nice information. I want to have a good experience. Sorry you have this perspective, but at this stage of the game, and look, let's be totally candid. There was a period of time in the evolution of Attorney Sync where I would spend the time trying to educate this person, and I'm grateful that now, I'm like, look, man, I cannot. I'm trying. Listen to the podcast. Go read what we're writing about. And I'm even happy to answer some of those things directly right now since we're sitting here live. But people that are in that mindset,
yeah,
it's never going to work out.
We use the analogy of sitting on the same side of the desk. We're never going to be on the same side of the desk with this person.
And this is the thing. We Jeff and I were just talking about this the other day in another recording. In the same concept of like this adversarial relationship with vendors and you know what? Since we're here, did you have something more in there or no?
No. I mean, I think what you're going to say is like, you and I just spent 20 minutes bashing the competition indirectly. Right. And so like the well-earned disdain that the legal community has for us is it's not unwarranted. Having said that, this is like going on a first date with someone having already decided that you're just going to have appetizers, right?
And just that no matter what I say, like you just don't want to be in a relationship. I mean, let me talk about it. Let's parse a couple of these in particular. So let's just be completely frank here. What any agency or any SEO worth their salt believes you need in order to achieve a result is very speculative, right? So, and in fact, I was just talking about this the other day. Like when a prospect comes in, you're like, all right, let's take a look at their website. Let's crawl their site. Let's do a competitive landscape analysis. Who are the other players that are showing up for relevant queries? How many linking root domains? What's their backlink profile look like? Blah, 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 blah. All this stuff. And then we take all that information in and we say, okay, here's the gap that we think you need in order to close that gap. And here's the resources that we're going to deploy against that. Some of it's going to be content. Some of it might be some kind of marketing, technical fixes of the website, blah, all the stuff that we do.
Yep.
At the end of the day, we're trying our best because here's what we know. We know that at some point in this relationship, you law firm have to be seeing tangible business results from our work, or you're going to be pissed and you're going to think we're just another one of the same snake oil SEO salesman that you're accusing us of. But so now we're in a tough spot because I think about the pricing thing. We can put pricing packages out there, right? There's some of our worthy rivals have pricing out there. It's completely arbitrary, right? It's complete. And then I say to lawyers, I'm like, look, you're a plaintiff trial lawyer. You work on a contingency fee basis. You're doing the same thing, right? Like, what if I come to you and I'm like, give me a flat fee price for your plaintiff work? How much is this going to cost me?
Right.
You're gonna be like, I don't know. It's 30% of whatever I'm able to recover on your behalf. Right. I think, based on my experience, I think this is what it's going to take.
So I think that's the other part of it is like, I do not know this, and I will not besmirch this person on this level, but I suspect this is how this person treats the world. They treat their clients like this, and because they treat their clients like this, they will never be a successful law firm. They
Go to a
treat their
search and
neighbors
see
like
negative reviews. See if they have negative reviews.
Ooh.
That'd be fun.
Okay. Well, the problem is he's literally got like probably over 100 GB, Google Business profiles because he's got.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know that. I'll do this in real time.
All right, that's fun. But again, so and I like I said, I try to come to the table with some empathy, and like depending on how abrasive the person is, that's the other thing too. And I talk about this with our people all the time. If someone treats our team members abrasively or poorly, like life's too short for this kind of stuff. And like, so he's coming in guns blazing, and I don't, maybe I'm wrong, maybe he's having a bad day with his email, but it's like coming to his office and being like, prove to me that I should hire a lawyer because your ambulance chasers are the worst scum of the earth and you're driving up insurance rates and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what, dude? Like, why did you call?
So the funny thing is the autocomplete for this person, when I started with reviews, it was blah, blah reviews, and the autocomplete finished with and complaints. I haven't seen that before.
There you go. Yeah. Yes, I have. And it's because there's complaints, and Google thinks that this is what you're looking for is complaints because people are complaining.
That's right. That's very telling. I haven't.
Oh, we got a comment from Kelly. This is great. Thanks, Kelly.
What do we got?
We are here for the dragging of trash people in 2026.
Maybe that needs to be my positioning, Guy. We are here to drag your competitors through the trash.
I think that's Mockingbird's header for the website. And Kelly, thanks for stopping by. And again, I'm like, I want to try to be empathetic and give people the benefit of the doubt, but gosh, like, what are you supposed to do? So I don't know. Good luck with that pitch, Conrad.
I was going to send it to Martindale Hubble and Scorpion.
Totally. I'm sure he's already worked with them
as a referral. So we have 11 reviews. Interestingly, when I ran the Google query, first result that came back was Yelp. So don't count Yelp out, people. I think, I hate to say this because they're weird, but don't count Yelp out. They are weird. Yelp's weird. But 11 reviews with an average 3 stars. So yeah.
One more plug while we're sitting here. If you're going to ABA Tech Show in Chicago, Conrad and I will both be there, and we would love for you to come and yell at us about how SEO is snake oil live. And we'll actually you can come. You know what we do? We invite you to come, and we will do a mock trial recording. You can argue your side of the SEO is a snake oil, and we will argue ours. But we'd love to see you in Chicago if you're going to APA Tech Show.
All right, Guy. I think we've been dancing in the mud.
Enough therapy for today.
We've got that was a good therapy session. Yeah.
And join us. We got to do a better job of marketing office hours because we're doing these live things. So join us most Thursdays, next Thursday, but let's check the calendar so we don't tell people the wrong date. Thursday, March 5th, we are on, I believe, for office hours, 1 p.m. Eastern on, as of now, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you follow the Lunch Hour Legal Marketing Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube channels, we will see you there live. Bring your questions. And if you're too scared to be called out by Conrad live, then you can submit questions anonymously. We will respect your anonymity. We promise.
We promise. Unless we discover it through Aaron Mink with a subpoena to Google.
That's right. All right. Have a great rest of your day.